In this video, we twist the throttle on the BT Moto Tune 2024 Ducati Multistrada V4 RS. We examine the dyno before and after, and I think you're going to be surprised by the results. Let's do work. Some quick housekeeping. I'm riding the RS during this video with a 360 cam, so put this video in 4K mode for the best results. If you love honest and candid motorcycle reviews, hit that subscribe button below, hit that like button and drop a comment to share your voice. Let's get to it. As you may know, I recently sold my Ducati Multistrada V4 RS, which had full exhaust and a Krapovich tune. As you may also know, I spent a lot of my time on my friend's Multistrada V4 RS before and after the BT Moto tune, and I have thoughts. My full Krapovich exhaust system and tune on my Multistrada V4 cost me over $3,000, and while it did improve the feel of the bike, it only grew horsepower by +4. The BT Moto tune increases wheel horsepower by 15 and costs a fraction of the price with no exhaust needed. This is what I call a no-brainer. Right now, the only way you can get a tune on this bike is to drop thousands of dollars like I did on an exhaust. Well, BT Moto said, not on our watch. You can get this tune with or without the Krapovich exhaust system, and it dramatically improves performance over the Acra Upmap. Firstly, what's the difference between the Multistrada V4 and the RS? For the uninitiated, the RS is a blend of the Multistrada and the Panigale, both having the Desmo Sedici Stradale engine, and this bike is a masterwork of engineering that is both comfortable and high performing. I'll link some of my Multistrada videos at the end of this video if you are interested. So what does the BT Moto tune add? Let's sit back and enjoy the ride while I tell you firstly what the tune does. So this is the Stage 1 tune. Currently they only have a Stage 1 tune. Okay, so according to BT Moto, this tune corrects the fueling on both banks in Alpha N mode for a totally different riding experience. It has a better quick shifter and blipper reaction time, as well as on and off throttle optimization. The bike will no longer jerk from throttle inputs, which is a BT Moto exclusive. The tune fixes random issues with the cold starts, and it optimizes the cylinder deactivation to make it much less noticeable and annoying. It increases the fun by raising the rev limiter and speed limiter. It will open the throttle limiters to 100% and will be much more responsive from part to full throttle. The tune raises torque limiters for lower gears, and you get full power in first gear now. It raises load limiters for additional airflow, revises traction control and ABS, and adjusts the ignition timing for additional power. And they made some exhaust valve tweaks for performance. So not only that, but it also addresses some issues that people have been reporting, such as stalling for no reason during idle, or fixing startup issues when slip-on exhausts are installed. The tune will address acceleration that isn't smooth through the entire RPM range. It fixes inaccurate AFR, air-fuel ratio, which affects the acceleration in terms of smoothness. The bike also has power that seems to level off after 8,000 RPMs and burns your legs in traffic with stock fan temperatures. So what does BT Moto say that they do about this? Well, no more stalling at idle for no reason. They fixed the fuel cutoff in throttle. Startup issues when you have exhaust are now gone. Acceleration is now smooth through the entire RPM range, and the engine now performs the same whether the engine is warm or hot. It will also turn on the fan earlier at 195 degrees Fahrenheit to keep your engine cooler. And finally, you will have no problematic fault codes or limp mode when tuning. BT Moto has complete video instructions on how you can self-install this tune with the included flash tool, and when I upgraded my Diavolo V4, this tune was easy to install and worked flawlessly. Okay, so how does it actually feel? So having ridden the bike, I can say the difference is night and day. The bike feels leaner, more responsive, more powerful. You can feel more horsepower and more torque across all the power band. The tune really unleashes the RS on this Multistrada. It shifts smoother, has a higher rev limit, which is always fun on a Desmo Sedici Stradale motorcycle, and it optimizes the rear cylinder deactivation so it's much less noticeable and annoying. So that's how the butt dyno feels, but let's take a look at the actual dyno, which is one of the best dyno sheets I've ever seen. This is exactly what I like to see, a much higher blue line than the stock red line with a consistent big space all across the power band, indicating smooth, real power gains from low RPM to high. You are looking at a 15 wheel horsepower gain and an over 8 torque gain with no exhaust upgrade. This is stock. So if you get the air filter that BT Moto sells and or get a new exhaust, then your gains are going to go even higher. But for this much gain in power and usability with no exhaust upgrade is literally the best bang for your buck. Anyway, speaking of value, the price of this tune, which comes with the handheld tuning device, is $899 US, but if you use my discount code in the description below, you can get an additional 5% off. And right now, they're already having a sale of 10% off, which they're calling the tariff sale. So the cost is $809, and if you stack my code with that, you can profit. FYI, if you do use my code, it will earn me enough money to buy a medium-sized McDonald's value meal, so it's a win-win situation, but more of a win for you. Alright, so this is the third BT Moto tuned motorcycle I've reviewed, including my Diavolo V4, my friend's BMW M1000 XR, and this RS, and this is the third time that I have not been disappointed. If you ask me my number one thing I like about BT Moto, it's their ability to free up big power and torque even without expensive exhaust upgrades. You also get to keep the tuning device in case you have to remove the tune for whatever reason, or if you upgrade anything else on the bike, such as getting a new exhaust, and if you do, you can get the tune upgraded from BT Moto for a cheaper price, which depends on the situation, but it's probably around a couple $100. You really can't go wrong with this tune for the most horsepower for the buck, especially if you snag it right now while it's on their tariff sale, and then stack in my discount. I do highly recommend the BT Moto tune. You will be thrilled with this tune. Alright guys, if you have any questions, drop a comment below, and always remember the motto, always be kinder than necessary, and I will see you in the next one.